Okay, here's the Panasonic Rx-C100 Boombox. It's a really good boombox. I got it from my grandpa probably like 4 or 5 years ago, but the problem is before I got it, it was sitting in his barn for probably like 30 years, so it's got a few issues. Among those, uh, the tape deck makes a loud buzzing noise when you try to listen to a tape unless you hold down the record mute button to the right of it. And that's pretty weird. And then the foam surrounds on the speakers are shot. So I'm going to try to repair that. So on the front, we have balance, volume, buttons for loudness, mono and stereo, and Dolby noise reduction. And we've got a tape selector for the 3 different types of tapes. We've got a record level, an input selector, a band selector, a big heavy weighted tuning knob, and a mixing level. Let's tune back into the station. We've also got TPS, which is pretty cool. It's for the tape deck. And it's basically where when you fast forward, it will fast forward right to the beginning of the next song. Then we've also got an FL meter, and that's what this is right here. And it's also got a dial light. That's kind of, I'm in a bright room right now, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's working. It's got a tape deck here, and then we've got a graphic equalizer, a 5-band equalizer, and we've got 2 speakers, and we also have a big handle because it's a heavy boombox. It's 25 pounds, I believe. And then we've got a big long antenna for getting any station you want, pretty much. It's 3.5 feet long, so that's quite big for an antenna. And then here is the record mute button I was talking about. And there's also the standard tape counter. And on the back, you can see the wire for the speaker. It's got a nice little spot here so you can tuck it all back there so that it looks neat on the outside. It's got, looks like it has some wall mounting stuff, because the speakers do detach. It's got the antenna screw. It's got some antenna inputs. Got ground. It's got a phono input. I'm pretty sure that has a preamp built in. It's got a line in and a line out. And then down here it's got a DC in, AC in. Looks like it's got maybe a switched outlet in there. And then I have voltage selector, either 110 or 127 volts. And then up here it says it's 50 watts. So 25 watts per speaker, that's pretty good. It's also got, see if I can open that. It's also got a battery compartment. You can power this whole thing with, I believe it's 10 D-sized batteries. Yeah, 10. So, I mean, it's a lot of batteries, but it can be done. So, yeah, there's the back. Okay, so now we're on to the tape deck. So, I'm just gonna throw in my favorite tape. There we go. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. Say there's a loud buzzing noise. So we press the play button, and you can see in the FL meter that there's a loud noise, and you can hear it there. But then when I press the record mute button, but it's only when I'm holding it. I have to hold it the entire time. So that's too bad. Okay, so now I've thrown some tape on there just to temporarily solve the issue so that I can show you how good the tape deck is. It's pretty cool. Yeah, just the speakers are pretty rough, so I'll show you how that is. Okay, there we go. We'll turn the volume up a little bit. Really hear the you can really hear it rattling.
Now this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down.
Yeah, so I'd really like to fix that. Luckily that's a pretty easy fix. I think it's just something that happens in time. But yeah, and then there's the TPS feature, which basically when you turn it on, whenever you press the fast forward button, it'll go on to the next song. It'll stop right before the next song plays. I can't do that on this one since this tape I have, I just recorded one song real quick. So yeah, I can't demonstrate it with that. But on the up there you can see like there's numbers. So right there, when it's on 1, it's gonna go to the next song. But when you press when you press TPS program, it'll go on to not the next song, but the next song. And then when you press it again, it goes on to the 3rd song, and the 4th and 5th, and then it goes back to the next song. So there's a tape deck. Okay, so now I have got my laptop plugged into the boombox through the line in port. So we can switch this over, turn the volume up a bit, and press play. You can kind of hear the speaker rattle a fair amount.
Now this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, tell you how
sounds decent, but like in the lower frequencies, it gets pretty bad. But I mean, I think it has a lot of potential. So if I can if I can figure out the problem with the record mute and the tape deck, and then if I can just replace the surround on the 2 woofers, I think it'll be an awesome boombox. Okay, so here we have our speaker that we're going to take apart. So, yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so inside we have a bunch of this stuff. I think it's supposed to like make it so there aren't many vibrations inside the enclosure. And then we've also got this bar in there. It's holding the speaker in. So let's get that out. Now we can pop this out. Okay, now it's time to get the speakers out. So the woofer and the tweeter are tied in together, so we're gonna have to get them both out at the same time. Okay, there's the screws for the woofer. I gotta get the tweeter. Okay, now we can get this out and toss aside the box. Okay, so now that we've got the speaker out, I mean, it isn't hard to tell that the surround is shot. I mean, here's part of it that fell out when I was taking it out. And like it's cracked all over the place. Like that part's flopping around. That part's flopping around. It's cracked everywhere and looks like it's got even some mold on it. So, I mean, this is pretty rough. I did dent the other cap on the other speaker, so that's too bad. But, so basically the surround is the part that holds the whole cone in place. And right now, since it's kind of gone, like there isn't much surround to do what it's supposed to do, this kind of can move around some, and basically what's happening is this is free to move around wherever, and then in the voice coil, so the voice coil can move around the magnet, and right now you can hear it rubbing. Okay, so now it's time to put the speaker back in the case. So we'll get this all over. It's kind of hard because it's all tied together. And then we just kind of get that in there, get that all settled, and then pop the tweeter in, and then we'll screw the tweeter in first. Let's do everything in reverse order of how we did it before. And onto the woofer. Okay, now we get to screw this bar back in place. And then we get this insulation stuff back in there. Okay, now we just gotta pop the top back on, or I guess the back. The top from this angle. So here we go. And there we go. We got our speaker back together.